What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about Lucid. I want to go over some of the data points, break it down what's really moving it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So Lucid's down 4.59%, 197 the low, 208 the high, and 100 million shares being traded, 96 is the average. So a fair amount of volume, but if we kind of look at the secondary market, not all that much in transactions. So of course, it is fair to assume that majority of the volume is coming from shorts as well as algorithmic trading, and you can kind of confirm that based on the flow. So I think just a lot of institutions and retail are selling out that are afraid of the whole reverse stock split. So today is the last trading day under this CUSIP number. So effective on Tuesday, there'll be a new one, and that 1 for 10 reverse stock split is going to be kicked in because of course Monday is the market is closed, holiday, and all the other fun jazz. So when it comes down to Lucid going down, so it's not just Lucid, it is the broader market, just for clarity, and it wasn't really the data points. So we did have two inflationary data points, PCE and also Michigan consumer sentiment, both coming in somewhat in line with the forecast. So month over month for PCE came in at 0.2. 0.2 was the forecast. Year over year, same 2.6, 2.6. Michigan consumer sentiment 58.2 versus a forecast of 58.6. So that was slightly off, but still nothing really to worry about in my opinion. Didn't really change this whatsoever because Powell's biggest concern was going to be more of the labor data, not the inflationary data points. So this is why there's still a 86.9% likelihood of a 25 basis point cut for the upcoming September 17th meeting. What is causing some fear is this right here. So this technically wasn't really on anyone's radar. I didn't really see anyone talking about it aside from early this morning. So this was kind of placed and set for April the 2nd, but of course with extensions, kind of was eventually placed to today, so August the 29th. Fell, like I said, under everyone's radar, but this is not the best, and some people are correlating it with like the dirty 30s, and of course we all kind of know how that went. But today there hasn't been any official news from Lucid, no SEC filings. They did post this on social media, which is kind of the exact same thing that came out yesterday, but I've already kind of complained about it a little bit because I don't personally know who Jackson Riddle is, but I can almost guarantee that their audience isn't buying Lucid vehicles. So I think just Lucid is going in the wrong direction marketing wise, but that's another ongoing issue. But as of today, there was a new analyst rating. So quickly popping over here, we can kind of see that 𝗖𝗧 did give a rating, and ultimately it was right over here. And so they did change it from $3 to $2.10. So downgraded. They've always been kind of wrong and behind the gun anyways. But if we kind of look here, way back when they were giving $5 ratings, lowered it down to $4, $3.50, $3, $2.50, and then from $3 down to $2.10. So yeah, I think analysts have always been wrong with Lucid. The only ones that have been correct have been the bearish ones early on, but it is what it is, which is unfortunate because Lucid, like I said, has a pretty kick-ass vehicle. Just management and every other kind of attributing factor just has not really jived all that well. When it comes down to shorts, they are returning. So I know this is going to annoy a lot of people, but shorts are returning 5.04 million shares. A lot of people on social media are saying that, hey, Lucid's going to have a squeeze post reverse stock split. I don't know if this is an indication that they are and we're preparing for that, or maybe they're just kind of easing off just to free up some room. But yeah, right now they're returning 5.04 million shares. So that does kind of put it in comparison on what institutions and algorithmic trading are really doing to Lucid. 29.95% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 375.96 million shares overall being shorted. So not necessarily the best, and it hasn't been this low of a short interest since the end of July. So definitely a big change as far as that. But aside from that, DTC is 2.9 days. So still kind of goes to show that shorts are a little bit overextended. Aside from that, looking at the options, 1.13 million in calls, 643,000 in puts, 54% of all the options being done are bullish in nature. So that's kind of interesting very much contradicting exactly the rest of the data. And like I said, today is going to be the last one for this chain. They'll still be tradable as far as kind of closing out your positions. You cannot buy more because effective technically in the next couple of trading days, there's going to be a whole new chain where you'll see $20 and so forth. So for those of you that are option traders like myself, you might be somewhat excited for the reverse stock split. But aside from that though, you don't really see that crazy of activity whatsoever. And one thing to take note of though, this is the open interest. You have 12,000 at that 2, 33,000 at that 250. So for whatever reason, if Lucid's able to close that 2, that could be good. That'll be like a 1.2 million share kind of deal that needs to be covered by market makers. But in my opinion, I feel like shorts might wake up a little bit and Lucid will kind of close below that $2 mark. But aside from that though, with it at $1.99, it is trading between this S1 and this S2. So 207 is going to be that key point to really watch for going forward. So of course, take that times by 10. For the next trading day, and then $1.74, so 17.40 is going to be the next strong support. So I'm looking at the one-day chart on a side note, so this is why you're going to see very wide gaps, but at the end of the day, it's not all that great. When it comes to the actual chart itself, this is where you kind of do see it being on a cliff. And so even just generally looking over the last year, it's always bounced off of that $1.98. And I get it, there's a hell of a lot of fear right now, and maybe looking back in like 2 weeks from now, this might have been the perfect time to buy today, because of course, historically speaking, this is usually the bottom, as you can kind of see in March as well as July the 1st. But with the whole reverse stock split looming, anyone's guess, right? So if you do believe in Lucid, potentially average down, do what you need to do. But at the end of the day, I think just a lot of institutions are somewhat pulling the plug, and you can kind of see that based on the money flow. So let me know your viewpoint on Lucid. What's your viewpoint on the analyst rating? And where do you see things going? Do you think Lucid's doing a fairly good job marketing wise or not? So what's your 2 cents? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And then one final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, many of which have been absolutely on point. Worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.